Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Man Cave. Well, we got through the show last night, and very favorable comments overall in terms of the sound, and I think, at least in my opinion, that was the best mic and sound setup that we've ever done. Dottie said, be sure to mark that down in terms of where all the controls and everything. And by gosh, I did. I wrote down every single microphone, every single channel, and every single, what do you call it? The number on every channel, if you will, the power, if you will. Anyway, we got it all completely documented and even who was using each mic. So it's down to a science here. So hopefully we can duplicate it next time and watch it be different. Even though you duplicated it, it's no guarantee it'll be the same next time. But I do appreciate y'all tuning in last night. We had at one point over 200, I think almost 220, I think, at one point. Anyway, it turned out pretty decent. I was pretty happy with that one. I've been kind of frustrated with the last several, to be honest with you. They just weren't up to my standards. That one there was passable. I was okay with that one. Did anybody check out Colin Furze's tunneling project that I recommended in yesterday's video? Oh my gosh. You're talking about a project. When he started that, I thought, well, that's kind of goofy to do what he was doing. But on the other hand, he was doing it really well. And so it was interesting. And I kept watching. And it just kept snowballing and getting bigger and snowballing and getting bigger. And he pulled out all the stops, I'm telling you. And to where it's going now is just unbelievable. So if you haven't checked it out, you need to. It was in, it should still be in today's description also, because all I do is copy them from one to the next. So anyway, I don't have much today. I'm going to keep it short because I got an appointment with a giant oak tree up on this hill. And boy, I'm going to tell you something again. I know I said this before, but in the video, the video makes the hill look like this. And I promise you, this hill is like this. And I'm not kidding you, if it was 5 degrees for sure, if it was 5 degrees steeper, you couldn't stand on it. It's that steep. It's really steep. It's hard working up there, man. And for an old guy, it's even harder. Even if I was 20 years younger, it would be a tough job. It's really a tough job. That's why I let it lay there for 2 years, because I just dreaded doing it. And now that I'm doing it, I'm dreading it more. And then I had all kinds of problems with everything this morning. I go out, I'm thinking, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Bobcat from above and, make myself a good clear path down to it. Well, the Bobcat wouldn't start first thing. And it always starts. It always starts. That's the most reliable machine there is. And it wouldn't start. And it's the fuel thing. I told you about the fuel. There's something in the dang fuel tank that will cover over the inlet, and you can't get to it. And even if I could see it, even if I did put an eyelet down there, there's no way to get it out of there. Unless I guess maybe, I don't even think you could get to it with a vacuum. I really don't. It's just one of those situations where you either live with it or you tear that whole Bobcat apart to get to it. And the whole thing. Take the engine out, everything. It would be a nightmare to fix. So I just living with it. I blew it all out and got her going again. And then I think I finally figured out that it's losing its prime a little bit too, which was part of my problem. And I think I fixed that too with some better sealant. But anyway, I was up there for quite a while working on that this morning, and I was kind of glad to take a break and come in here. By the way, one other thing is someone recommended in the comments yesterday that maybe I'm eating what I'm eating in the wrong order, like I should eat a breakfast and then, taper off at lunch and then maybe not eat any supper. So that's what I did this morning. I ate I wouldn't call it a large breakfast, but just a normal sized breakfast, maybe not even as much as I would say less than most men would probably eat for a breakfast. Anyway, I had, it was like a scrambled egg and pasta thing that Sue learned how to make from our Italian friends. It's something they like. It's pasta, bacon, and scrambled eggs put together. It's very good. And so she makes a big batch of that, and then I can just warm it up, and that's what I did for breakfast this morning. Then I had my nuts for lunch again, my little cup of nuts. And now I won't eat supper. So we'll see how that goes. If reversing the order changes the weight thing, but I don't know if it will or not. All right, well, that's all I got. I'm sorry I don't have any videos today, but let's just get into the comments and see what's going on. Eddie Turner looks like he was number one in there. He says, great concert last night. Well, thank you. I was kind of proud of that one. I did watch it last night. I actually stayed up late and watched the whole thing because I really wanted to see, what the sound was. And plus, that way I could make notes of, like on each mic I could hear, and even though I thought it was really good, there's still minor tweaks. Another thing I noticed last night that I don't know how many of you noticed, but on the G string on the upright bass, he has a pickup on that. That was a pickup on the bass that was coming into here. But when he would hit the G string, it made no sound. The other three strings, you could hear them. But when he would hit the G string, there was nothing there. So that's something to do with his pickup, and so I'm going to call that to his attention and see if we can't figure that out. Bill Webb says, good afternoon, Jerry and friends. Missed you live yesterday, but caught the vlog later. Well, good. David Tharp, howdy, gang. Wonderful concert last night. Enjoyed it a bunch. Well, thanks. And again, I say thank you to everyone for all those nice compliments and comments and things that we got. It was really nice. Except for one person must have taken exception to my singing, and he said to let Beverly do all the singing. Roy lived, and I just, say, too bad, so sad. I'm going to sing just because, and if you don't want to listen, you don't have to. Roy Livingston. Hey, Jerry, 40 degrees in Michigan. Have you ever seen any of Merle Haggard's sons on? Yes, I have. The one son, I think, his name is Marty, reminds me so much of Merle. Yeah, I agree with you, 100%. Yeah, that one really looks like him. I've also listened to Marty Robbins' son, and I can't think of his name right now either, but he doesn't look like him so much. He's heavier set than Marty was, but he sounds just like him. He sounds exactly like Marty Robbins, man. It's just the same thing over again. Let's see. Dottie Hildebrandt says hello there. Let's see. Joe Nigan has got a comment. Let's see. Roy Livingston's got question mark. Says, enjoyed you and the band last night. Sound was loud and clear on my end, and that upright bass was loud and clear. Yep, he was. The bass came through very well, except for the G string. The G string just wasn't there, and it just was not there. Every time he'd hit it, it would just be nothing. It was crazy. I noticed details like that, especially after running a recording studio for, I don't know, about 10 years there. I had a recording studio and recorded a lot of projects for a lot of people, a lot of bands. I've told you this before, but I had some pretty cool luck with some of my recordings. I did a recording thing for NPR, for National Public Radio. They had the tornado victims come in from Joplin, Missouri, come to my studio here in Newburgh, Missouri. It's 2 hours away from where they live. And, I just couldn't believe it, but that's where they came. And I recorded it and put it out over the phone lines for NPR, and worked out really cool. And let's see, what was the other one? There was another big one I did. Oh, there was two Negro ladies. And no matter how I say it, somebody says I'm prejudiced. I'm just telling you what happened. You can take it any way you want to take it and just, lump it if you don't like it. And that is, they came in and they sang Negro spiritual songs that the slaves would sing in the cotton fields. Back, it was for the Civil War documentary on PBS, and that was played in the background during a lot of the PBS series on the Civil War. It was recorded in my studio. It was pretty cool. And those two black ladies, they came all the way from, I think it was Champaign, Illinois. You'd think there'd be a whole lot of recording studios between there and my place, especially this little hole in the wall that they came to, And anyway, that worked out real well, too. And then the other notable project that I did, I did lots of projects, but the other notable project was that Harold Rowden and the Rowden Review recorded a album here that won the Spigma Album of the Year. Now, it was regional Spigma, not the national Spigma, but it won the regional Spigma Album of Year, which is a pretty big deal. Anyway, moving on. So I'm no stranger to sound, and I guess is what I'm saying. These problems I'm having with this, it's all software stuff. It's stuff I can't figure out. I'm good with software. I don't mean to brag. I just am. I've been doing it my whole life. Ever since computers came out, I got right in the middle of it, right at the very beginning, So I understand computers. But I cannot figure out why Channel 4 will not work on this machine talking to this software that you're looking at me on right now. This software is called Streamlabs Desktop. And it's something to do with that interface and this software. It won't do Channel 4. Because this is a brand new machine. They gave me a brand new machine because I couldn't get Channel 4 to work before. And it obviously wasn't the machine because the new one doesn't work either. So it's something to do with this software. Anyway, Dottie's praying for us. Thank you, Dottie. Moving on down, Dottie says, I enjoyed the concert last night. The band was fantastic last night. Thank you for doing my request. Let Beverly know I'm praying for her. Okay, I'll try to remember to tell her that. She seems to be doing pretty well. She was aggravated because she, not even, I don't know, it was a day or two after the funeral, she already got a call from a realtor trying to see if she would sell the property. She was pretty aggravated with that. Wavy gravy. The number one thing on my to-do list is to procrastinate. The number two thing says, see number one. Yeah. Generally, everybody procrastinates, but generally I don't procrastinate. There's some things I do, like cutting up this tree. It's just like, doggone it. I knew I'd get to it eventually, but, it's just, I knew this was going to be really hard, and it is really hard. I'm not even bothering trying to film it. Heck, it's hard enough to stand up there, let alone try to film it. Rod Wintler, I keep meaning to make a list like that wavy gravy, but I never seem to get around to it. I wouldn't think you're procrastinating, Rod. Let's see. Eric, getting old is really tough. I went into an antique store yesterday and they wouldn't let me leave. David Tharp, for my age, I have a lot going for me. My hair is going, my eyes are going, my memory is going, my knees, my back. Yep. Well, let's see, it scrolled on me here. Steve Mays, after we went live there, says, autocorrect has become my worst enema. Let's see. Wavy Gravy. I threw a stick for my dog 20 times, and each time I yelled, fetch, fetch. And each time he ignored me, so I gave up. Then it occurred to me he finally broke me from using the F word. Let's see. Kim Williford, I loved the concert last night. Thank you, Kim. Bill Rhodes, good afternoon. Jerry, Kim Williford, I did. He's a nut. What a character. Okay, I'm not sure what that was about. Let's see. Kim Williford says, I'm talking about the tunnel digger. Yeah, he is a nut. Colin Furze, he's another one of those giant YouTube channels. I mean, he's huge. And he does crazy stuff, man. I mean, the tunnel thing is crazy enough. But if you get into the other videos, there's some really crazy stuff, like strapping a jet engine on his back and being on a skateboard or something. I mean, just stuff like that. I don't know if that's exactly what he did, but he's done stuff like that. He's nuts. He's just plain nuts. But he's funny. He's good to watch. He seems like a nice guy. He really does. Don Nice, Jerry, that show was the very best, but I'm looking forward to Mr. Cash. Awesome. Yep. Yeah, we'll probably have him this coming Thursday, hopefully. I have to get I got to remember to text her to make. They were going to come last week, but the snow messed it up. Brad Tomatic says, hi, Jerry, and all. Just curious, Jerry, what brand model are your studio speakers are you using? Well, the speakers are Yamahas. And the sound system is, I think it's called K-Ipich or K-Lipich. I can't see the words there very well. But, it's not got anything to do with the speakers. It's this interface thing. You plug your mics into this interface. Let's see here. How does it all work? And you plug your speakers into the interface. And the interface then via USB cord talks to the computer. And in between that and the USB cord to the computer is where the problem is. It's to the software. It's really, I'm almost positive it's the doggone software. Not 100% sure of anything. It could even be a Windows thing. It's possible it is Windows. I just don't know where it is, but it's in the software. I'm almost positive. I doubt it's the hardware. Again, I go back to my experience with the break fix on the computers, and I did that for years. Well, not years. I did it for 2 or 3 years straight at Yellow Pages, where I was break fix support on PCs and Macs. I did both of them, PCs and Macs, and 99 times out of 100, and I would even go to 99.9 times out of 100, it's the software. When you have a problem, it's usually the software. The hardware hardly ever breaks. People think it's the hardware, and they'll throw the hardware away. And I am not making this up when I tell you this. I would follow these. This was back in the days where we had to have network cards and all this stuff, and they would always say, this network card's no good, and they'd throw it in the trash. I'd wait for them to leave, and I'd walk over to the trash, I'd pick it out and put it in my stash and use it, and it would be just fine. 99 times out of 100, it's not the hardware, it's the software. And I think that's what we're dealing with here, too. I'm pretty sure. See, I thought it was the hardware because it was just Channel 4, and everything else seemed to check out, but Channel 4 wouldn't work. So I just figured it was the hardware. In this case, I just figured I got a bad one from the factory. No, it's the software. Like always. Brad Tomatic, hi Jerry. Curious what? Okay, sorry. That's the one I just read. I can't even remember what I just read. That's my problem. Rod Wentler, Jerry, you might try the PZM I sent you for the bass. That you can just put it on a piece of plywood on the floor near the bass, no feedback, and that flat type microphone thing. Yeah, well, possibly. It's an idea. Let's see. Scott Roberts, Robbie Robbins. Yes, sounds a lot like Marty. Yeah, I think that is his name. Now that you say that, I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I don't know if he has two sons or not. I know Merle has at least two. Scott Roberts acts like him too. Oh, okay, yeah. Steve Mays, Marty Jr. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one it is. I just know I saw him on that family reunion show. They call it the Opry Family Reunion Show. I saw the Marty's son singing like him. It sounded exactly like him. I mean, you couldn't really tell the difference, I don't think. Gary Hayes, West Virginia. Ronnie Robbins, thanks, Jerry, for my request from Where I Stand. Well, thank you for the request. Glad you liked it. Ronald Todd, I don't like to critique anyone's vocals. Everyone has issues once in a while, even Bev. Yeah. Let's see. Kim Williford. Jerry, that is so awesome. I would love to hear those recordings. That's something you don't hear every day. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I used to have all that stuff categorized and logged and knew right where it is, but it's pretty much history these days. Because, well, that machine, like I told you, it was super complicated, the one that I ran. And I was good at running it. And I'm just being honest, I only used maybe if I'm giving myself credit, I used about 10% of its capability. And even just that was hard to understand. It was, I still say that, I say it in jest, but it's also true. I say it's the most complicated machine ever designed by a human short of the space shuttle. I mean, it just was crazy hard to operate. This recording machine, and I'm not making this up, you'd have to press 3 different buttons and then move a slider to do something. Well, I've literally forgotten how to do all that now because I got away from it for about 3 or 4 years. While I was on top of it and stayed on it, I had no problem with it at all. I could just do it, muscle memory, but not now. I've lost it now, and I don't even want to try to get it back. It's just too complicated. If I get any of it back, it's going to be with this interface and this computer system, and I'll learn to record this way. That's a totally different learning curve. And I'm not even ready to try that because I'm still trying to figure out why I'm having trouble with certain things. If I can figure that out, then maybe I'll move on to the recording next. Let's see. It moved on me again. Dottie says, Conway Twitty did our son's Michael sounds just like his dad. Okay. I don't think I've heard him. B.H. Ringer, to properly measure puns, use a seismograph. As in sigh. Let's see. Okay. Bill Webb. I'm still getting letters wanting buy mom's old house that I sold 2 or 3 years ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're vultures. Literally vultures is the good way to explain it. They're just hovering, waiting. It's all greed. Again, just like I said yesterday, it's all greed. It just, they're wanting to make that extra dollar. And you can't hardly blame people for that either. I mean, you got to make a living. I get that. Bill Mumbo, Rod Wintler, PZM microphone, art good. I used to record folk club performances with 2 and got a good stereo image. Okay. David Tharp, if pigs could really fly, I'd bet their wings would be delicious. Well, I like the buffalo, those flying buffalo. Those are really good, those buffalo wings. Actually, I don't because they're too spicy for me. Anyway. Wavy gravy. I had an older brother who thought he was a chicken for over 10 years. Our family doctor demanded to know why we didn't get him some psychiatric help We would have, but we needed the eggs. I knew that was coming. I've heard that one before. Theron Corbett, strict carnivore diet of ribeyes, butter, salt, and water. Give it 90 days. Well, that's pretty much my whole diet my whole life. And I'm not kidding. You think I'm making that up or just saying that, but I'm seriously telling you, all I eat is meat. I eat meat, potatoes, corn, rice. That's my main diet. That's it. And when I say that's it, I mean that's it. That's all I eat. And then I'll throw in like these nuts. I like eggs. I like, well, bacon is meat. So, I mean, I like that. But that's about it. And I mean, I eat the sugar, salt, and preservatives on top of that, And the butter. I love butter, But I'm seriously telling you, that's all I eat. It's all I've ever ate. Ever in my whole life. And I know that sounds crazy, but I got a grandson coming up, and he's exactly the same way. So it shows you that it is a genetic thing. I've told you I was a genetic defect, and it's the truth. Ronald Todd, did Yolanda and Mark move to PA? I don't know. I haven't heard from them in quite a while. Well, we quit playing at that restaurant, and they used to come there all the time. That's where I would see them, but I haven't seen them in a long time. The doggone ASCAP thing blew that up, and I just got tired of dealing with them. So they wouldn't cooperate with me at all. If they would have negotiated with me a little bit, even just a little bit, we'd have stayed playing there, and ASCAP would have still got their money. But no, they had to be greedy, and so now they get nothing, and that's just fine with me. Scott Roberts says, Merle has 4 sons. Yeah, I knew he had at least 2. I was thinking he had more, but I wasn't sure about the more. Marburg says, hey, Jerry, have you considered chaining and then dragging your big log down and then up to the flat ground? Well, yeah, you can't get to it is the problem. That's part of what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to cut a path down to it. And it's right above the house, so I can't drag it down the hill. I've got to go back up the hill, which is on a steep hill like that ain't easy, especially on a log that I know this log will weigh 4,000 pounds. It's huge. It's huge, and it's oak. And it's still green, There's no doubt it'll weigh 4,000 pounds. Let's see. Okay, I read that one. Let's see. Scott Roberts. Marty, Noel, Ben, and Scott. Yep, now that you say that, I've heard those names, but I wouldn't have thought of it. I knew about the Marty is the only one I really... Well, the Marty and the Noel, I think, are the 2 that I knew the names. Don Nice. Maybe JR and Older could pull the tree to a flat ground. Not likely. Don Nice, horse. Not going to pull that tree. Well, I mean, you could hook a couple of Clydesdales on it, and they could probably pull it up the hill. But that would outweigh the Clydesdales. And especially going up that steep a hill, I don't think they could pull it, honestly. Even 2 of them. Maybe they could. Those Clydesdales can move some stuff. But that would be a tough one, I guarantee you. Brad Tomatic, I used to put my pants on. Oh, he doesn't have any question marks, but I'm reading it anyway. Pants on standing up. Now that's just 1 toe catch and 2 hops from falling down. Yeah, I know exactly like that, too. Let's see. Gino Hitch says, hi, Jerry and everyone. Beautiful day here in Monroe, Ohio. Really enjoyed the music last night. Everybody and myself thought you guys did a wonderful job. Well, thank you. I was pretty happy with that one, mostly because it just worked. The sound worked. Everything worked. That's the main reason I was happy. GNP Old Marine Shop. Hi, Jerry. How about pistachios? They are the most addictive. I've eaten a few, but I don't really, I don't know. I've eaten them, and they're fine. I just never did get into them, I guess. Joe had 8 spinal ablation injections today. No pain, no gain. Wow. Whew. Man, I'll tell you, when they mess with your spine, they're messing with a lot. And I pray for you that everything's going to be okay on that. That's a mess. No question marks on Big B Slur says, Bigsby Slur says, Jerry, I have a Roland 2480. That also, yeah, I've done many recordings with it, and it sounds great. If I don't work with it every couple of months or so, I forget how to do things. Yeah, well, I'm not making it up. I feel like I was only good at about 10% of the machine. I only used it acoustically for acoustic music. That's all we did. I didn't do electric music, although a little bit, because John Mirage kind of merged me into electric instruments some, because he did play electric guitar, and so I recorded that a lot. But that's about it. 99% of what I did was all acoustic, vocals and, just box guitar type instruments. But it was a tough machine to understand. Scott Roberts, Ben Haggard is the best performer out of all 4 of the Merle boys, in my opinion. Okay. Dottie, potatoes, let's see, potatoes, rice, corn equals carbs. Yeah, I'm sure it does. But that's all I ate. I mean, because those are starches, Wavy gravy. I was so ugly when I was a baby. Every time I played in my sandbox, the cats would try to bury me. Kim Williford. Jerry, cut the log into 2 or 3 pieces. Use the Clydesdale horses to pull the logs up the hill to flat ground. Well, I think I can get it with my Bobcat, and it'll get it up there. Recording programs are very involved learning curves. Yep. That's for sure. And this mess here, that it's not simple either. I've watched a lot of videos on it, and it ain't simple at all. It's not even sort of simple. It's very complex. I kind of understand it, but it's so complex that I'm just not even sure I want to get into it. I really am not. I think I'm past that point. Guys, it's been fun talking to you. We will see you probably on Monday. I might get a video out this weekend. I do have one that I could get out if I had time to put it together. I'll be so busy working on my to-do list, that's my problem, that I can't hardly get a video out, I don't think. We'll see you then. Thanks for being here.